Hey folks, back with ancient cosmography. See, I just wanted to show this one again real quick because I didn't find one of the photos. I've just, the last video I couldn't find one of the photos for it, so I'll just touch on it again. This is from Songlines by Bruce Chatwin, and he's talking about Mount Lycaon in Greece. I think Lycaon basically means wolf. Like the werewolf lichens and shit and the underworld movies. So, it says Lycaon Lycaon's transformation into a wolf, Arcadia, in the limestone cap of Mount Lycaon itself, an image of the crouching beast king. Okay, so he's supposed to look like a wolf. So I'm just showing that the same system that the Celts and the Egyptians and the Mayans and Aztecs used, everybody used. The Greeks also used the same system to, memorize the shapes of geography by its similarity to their similarity to the shapes of animals and people. So anyway, so this is like the overall thing that I think I did show. And here's like the nose of the wolf, and I think this is the tail right here. There's kind of like a ridge there, and this would be like his, legs, back legs, and whatever. And this would be like the top of his head, kind of around here. So I don't think this is in dispute, unlike a lot of the things that I've discovered, which, people might not always believe are real. Pretty sure this is well documented. I mean, it's literally called Wolf Mountain. So, but anyway, I couldn't find this photo in the last video just to show a kind of a close-up. It's not exactly a close-up because it's basically Google just shows kind of the same image no matter how close you go, but at least it gives a little maybe better idea. This being the nose of the wolf and this being like the top of his head. This part, the top of his head. So yeah. It's identical system to that used by other ancient peoples. And so yeah, there's that and this and the other thing. What's this? So this just talks about the similar type of system among the Aboriginal Australians. So Bruce Chatwin here, it's the same book, same writer, the book is Songlines, about the Aboriginal, anthropomorphization of geography, rendering the shapes of geography as animals and people. And so, he's hanging out there in Australia with an Aboriginal man, I believe, and says, we sat down cross-legged in the sand. I asked him if he'd mind pointing out some local dreamings. So they call this type of stuff dreamings. Like that's kind of their word for what would maybe be referred to as ancient religion. Because since ancient religion is by nature metaphorical and therefore both real and not real, dreaming is the perfect metaphor for the metaphor. We sat down Sat down cross-legged in the sand. I asked him if he'd mind pointing out some local dreamings. Ho ho, he broke into a wheezy cackle. Many dreamings, many. Well, who? I asked, waving towards Mount Liebler. Who is that? Ho ho, he said, that one a big one, a walk one, a parenty one. So a walk one means it's like part of a story that helps you walk across the outback, just as a lot of the Egyptian spell songs in the Book of Two Ways are for sailing. These guys had similar ones, and the Egyptians also had similar ones for walking, for traveling by land. So a parenty one. The parenty or lace monitor is the largest lizard in Australia. It can reach a length of 8 feet or more and has a burst of speed to run down a horse. Joshua stuck his tongue in and out like a lizard's and, twisting his fingers into claws, dug them crabwise into the sand to imitate the parenty's walk. I looked up again at the cliff line of Mount Liebler, and I found I could quote unquote read into the rock the lizard's flat triangular head, his shoulder, his foreleg and hind leg, and the tail tapering away towards the north. So he's saying he could read it, and I think this is why a lot of ancient peoples said the book of life is written on the earth and on the sky, because if you understand these ancient poems and songs and whatever, you can read them just by looking at the sky or by looking at the earth. So yeah, he's showing that just like this, Mount Lycaon looking like a wolf, there's this Mount Liebler, which looks like a lizard, and therefore it's part of, this tradition about that it is the lizard. And the tail tapering away, foreleg and hind leg, triangular head. So it's very similar in a way to this, where you have the tail and you have the head, and it talks about the tail tapering away towards the north. So that's pretty similar to Mount Lycaon, where it seems to have a tail tapering away there. Yes, I see him, I said. I see him. Or yes, I said, I see him. So where was this parenty man coming from? Come long way, said Joshua. Come long, long way. Some way up Kimberley. And where's he going on to? He raised his hand towards the south. Out that country, people. Having established that the parenty songline followed a north-south axis, I then swiveled around and pointed to Mount Cullen. Okay, I said, who is this one? Women, Joshua whispered. 2 women. He told the story of how the 2 women had chased parenty up and down the country until at last they cornered him here and attacked his head with digging sticks. Parenty, however, had dug himself into the earth and escaped. A hole on the summit of Mount Liebler, like a meteorite crater, was all that remained of the head wound. South of Cullen, the country was green for the after the storms. Tell me, Joshua. South of Cullen, the country was green after the storms. There were isolated rocks jutting out of the plain like islands. Tell me, Joshua, I asked, who are those rocks over there? Joshua listed fire, spider, wind, grass, porcupine, snake, old man, 2 men, and an unidentifiable animal, like a dog but a white one. His own dreaming, the porcupine or echidna, come down from the direction of Arnhem Lands through Cullen itself and on towards Kalgoorlie. I looked back again towards the settlement at the... So yeah, same type of system. And so his own dreaming, that means the one that he is kind of charged with specifically memorizing. Like my family, Clan Campbell, or my mom's, paternal lineage, they were supposed to memorize the Celtic dreamings, basically, of Diarmid mac O'Doin. And I think in ancient times, basically almost everybody on Earth had some sort of system like that. And so let's see, this is just something I created for Monterey, which is nearby me. I'm on the other side. Monterey forms like the southern border of the Monterey Bay. I'm kind of more on the northern border of it in Santa Cruz. So this was something I thought might be that this would be an Egyptian map of this island in, I think maybe it's in Palawan or near Palawan. Let's see. It's near Zamboanga. So it's between Zamboanga, which is in Mindanao, Philippines, and Borneo here. So it's closer to Borneo. And it would be an important place to sail through because it's a strait. So anybody trying to sail in the southwest, kind of Pacific area is going to want to know that island, know that area. So yeah, could well be this, because this is the type of thing they use to show, geography, similar to actually Pacific Islands charts that use the same, almost identical kind of geometric representations. So I guess it's called Bongao. I don't know. It's a good name. See, Nan Madal. This is this megalithic site, like way out in the Pacific. That's like some ancient site. Pretty interesting. Micronesia. So yeah, it has big stones and stuff. Here's Micronesia. I think that site is somewhere around here. And I was just showing how similar it is to the shape of the hexagonal basalt columns at the Giant's Causeway. Both are products of volcanic and seismic activity, I guess. Yes, this is this book I finally got, which I haven't started reading yet, but I look forward to it, which talks about the Native American songlines that they used to sail to China and Japan and whatnot, as told by the elders of Vancouver Island. And so yeah, this is like from the Daughters of Cop. At the other end of the Pacific, the native peoples sang their way through the seas. In her account, the Daughters of Copper Woman, Anne Cameron, recalls the words of her grandmother. Everything we ever knew about the movement of the sea was preserved in the verses of a song. For thousands of years we went where we wanted and came home safe because of the song. On clear nights we had the stars to guide us, and in the fog we had the streams and creeks of the sea, the streams and creeks that flow into and become Clyn Otto. So Clyn Otto is like the major current that runs alongside Alaska and like the Yukon and stuff in the Pacific Ocean. There was a song for going to China and a song for going to Japan, a song for the big island and a song for the smaller one. All she had to know was the song, and she knew where she was. To get back, she just sang the song in reverse. So this book sold 100,000 copies, but totally ignored and dismissed by academia, of